Hey everyone, I just wanted to give a really, really quick update. I've been home in Australia now for roughly 6 weeks, and it has been a really tough 6 weeks. I always have a bit of trouble when I come home from overseas in readjusting to a normal life. When we're on the road, we travel almost weekly to a different country. You've got quite a solidified schedule in terms of, you arrive, you have 2 training days, you have a qualification day, you have 2 race days, you pack up, you leave, you travel to the next place, you arrive, you repeat this whole situation again, just in a different country usually. And the last 6 weeks leading into me coming home, it was almost a different country every week. So it was really go, 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 go the whole time. And coming home and having a chance to be still is really great for like a week, because you sleep in your own bed and you do washing, which is like such a luxury when you're on the road. But all of a sudden, that feeling of like, you're ready to get going and do the next race or move on to the next thing, it sort of never really goes away, because you're having a break, you're having time off, you're having rest, you may be rehabilitating an injury or not even in a rehabilitation phase. And so for me, when I came home, I was put in a cast for my hand and was immobilized for roughly a month or 3 weeks, and I really struggled not being able to do the things that I wanted to do and not having that sense of, structure or framework around what I was doing. You're sort of a little bit in limbo. I'm sure to a lot of people that sounds like an absolute lovely situation to be in, where you can just do whatever you like for a couple of weeks. But knowing that I'm an older athlete, I don't like having time off training the way that I perhaps would have preferred to when I was in my late teens or early 20s, because I actually really enjoy training. That's probably the number one thing. A big part about me being an athlete is that I genuinely really enjoy what I do. But also, I have to look after my body in a different way that I did sort of 10 years ago. And now I find myself training to prepare for training, for my real training, and then my training is in place so that I can then prepare to exercise my skill on snow in a safe and productive manner. So I get a bit nervous and I get a little bit edgy around times where I get told to just like chill out and relax and don't do too much and don't put weight on your hand and don't do this. Originally, when I was coming home for that month off, my plan was to go stand-up paddleboarding and surfing and go and train out of False Grip, which is a gymnastics gym here that I train out of in Sydney, but do handstand classes and rings and get good in areas that maybe I haven't had a chance to play around with in terms of their programming. So it would be more for me rather than for my performance. And when you put in an immobilizing cast, quickly you realize that you can't do those sort of things, and my lower body did need an actual rest, so I couldn't really, I just felt like I couldn't do what I wanted to do. So it was a bit of a battle, but through that I was reminded by some people in my fantastic support network, whether that was my family, through my institute of NSWIS or the Olympic Winter Institute of Australia, that the brain has the capacity to learn, and I can use that time constructively in other ways. Just because I can't necessarily be physical during that time, my brain could probably do with a bit of exercise. So with a bit of research, I found a course that really, really sparked my curiosity and my interest. And that course is through the Wellbeing Science Institute of Australia, and it is a certificate in elite athlete wellbeing management. So I started that a couple of weeks ago, and it's been really eye-opening to me. I've had really great support in terms of my professional development and my career and education advisors throughout the years, but there have been gaps, and I've often wondered why that is, and what ways, potentially we can better support our elite athletes and development athletes in terms of achieving balance in their life and planning for life after sport without actually committing to just retiring and doing it straight away, like having things up your sleeve. So this course has been really, really interesting for me, and it made me ask some questions of myself about whether I'm doing my sport for the right reasons, if I even want to do it anymore, if I actually could handle working in sport when I retire. And the answer to those questions, the more and more and more that I've been, committing myself to this course and getting back into training, is that I know that I'm on the right path in my athletic journey. The next Olympics is 3 years away. It's not very long. It's coming around really quickly. 3 years might sound like a long time, but when you spend half of the year at home and half the year on the road, all of a sudden 6 months goes just like that. So it sort of made me, I guess, make the conscious decision that I love being an Olympic athlete, and I love training, and I love inspiring my community and getting involved with my community, and that's really a big driver behind me being an elite athlete, and me wanting to achieve the personal goals that I have, because if the people that I looked up to when I was a young person didn't pursue sport, I wouldn't have probably ended up where I am. And I feel like it's my responsibility to be able to give back. So through this course, I'm learning about ways that I could potentially be an asset to a company or an institute with my athletic experience, plus with these qualifications, and make myself a desirable candidate for someone to hire whenever I retire. But hold the phone, I'm not retiring just yet. I'm just using this as a professional development tool, and if anything, to help me manage my own well-being, to make sure that Sammy the person, not just Sammy the athlete, is becoming well-rounded and is getting the attention and the support that she needs. I'm really looking forward to the next seminars that I have. It has been pretty hard, actually, managing my travel and my training and stuff around the course. But I'm lucky in that the courses are sort of 3 or 4 day blocks. They're not, every week. So I can actually factor in my training. I tried to train twice a day, plus doing the full seminars, that first seminar block a couple of weeks ago, and it ruined me. So now I know that I need to scale things back a little bit when I'm going and exercising my brain. Neurologically, I was really quite fatigued after getting a lot of information and exciting information and remaining engaged all day. I couldn't give 100% in my training sessions the way that I would like to. So I've now, been able to come up with a solution in managing my training and my study. But yeah, it's really got me just pumped on being an athlete and pumped on supporting other athletes and pumped on, I guess, just being available to people to help. I have about a decade of experience in sport, and I've worked in sport. I'm a product of an institute. I'm a product of my family and my own race club, from the development level and the junior level up through to now, being on the Olympic Winter Institute of Australia. And in my eyes, it's my duty to share my experience with you and also to assist you with yours where I can. And if I can't help you, put you in the right direction of someone who can. And yeah, it's just got me, obviously I'm really excited about it. But through this return to training after my injury, which I have been cleared from now, I don't have to see a therapist for another month, which is exciting. I've actually returned to training. I've had fitness testing in Melbourne and got to spend some time with my great teammate Belle Brockhoff down there. So much to the point that we had such a good time that she actually followed me back to Sydney that next weekend and came up here and had a training camp with me at my house in Freshwater on the Northern Beaches. And it was awesome having her around to train and push me and uplift each other and just give you that sense of community. when you're in an individual sport, it can get really lonely, and no matter how far away you are or what sport you do, whether I've got Danny Scott around the corner, who's an aerial skier whose job it is to literally flip upside down and sideways 1,000 times and land on her feet, whereas I avoid going upside down at all costs in my sport. We've actually found ways between her and Belle and myself and a few others to support each other, even though our sports are actually quite different. And through that, we've created a really great sense of community. And to me, that's the definition of being in a good team, of which we are. So it was really exciting to have Belle here last week. I'm heading to Melbourne in another 10 days for our athlete induction week at the OWIA, which is called H3, with the focus on health, high performance and happiness in athletes and also in our support networks. And I'll be training with Belle and staying with Belle during that period. And she's actually going to follow me back to Sydney the next week, which will be awesome. So we can kind of get more touch points together and have a solid training buddy, someone that will lift you up when you don't want to go anywhere, when you don't think that you can do one more training session or set or rep. That person is there to remind you that you can, and also to suffer with you when you're doing a bike session and you don't want to do it anymore. You look over and that person is there as well, and together you achieve your session or your goal or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm super pumped to have her around and to be creating a great training environment so close to home for me here on the Northern Beaches. I've actually started training out of a gym in Brookvale that is literally 3 minutes from my house, called J-Train. And J-Train look after a lot of rugby athletes. They have strongmen and women powerlifting and things in the gym. It's like the ultimate athletic centre of excellence on the Northern Beaches, and a really, really awesome community. If you need assistance, or if I need assistance when I'm in there, I literally just have to ask somebody and they'll give me a hand, or they'll help me, change an exercise to make sure that I'm getting the right outcome from it. Again, it's about people and it's about the community, and it's really drawn me in there, and I'm super pumped to be training there as well. Wow, I'm saying pumped a lot, but I guess I am. Feel like I'm in a really good place, and although it's only April and my first World Cup isn't until December, I'm trying to make sure that I enjoy every moment, because my career will come to an end at some point, and I want to make sure that I've enjoyed every moment of it. And I often find that when I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I perform a heck of a lot better. So anyway, it's coming into Easter, and I will be heading down to the New South Wales Snowy Mountains to my awesome other hometown of Jindabyne, where I'll be hanging out with some friends. I'm going to be getting back on the mountain bike for the first time in ages. I'll be training at High Country Fitness there over the weekend, and just getting to enjoy the mountains. The mountains is a magical place any time of year. And I'm really looking forward to being down there and, having a little weekend away with Ben, but that I can still be productive and get my training in. But in saying that, I also have a big job to do when I'm down there. I have acquired a rather large portion of my parents' storage space, and it is very full. And it's full of Olympic memorabilia and old equipment and new equipment. And I'm actually going to go and try and sort through everything on the weekend to remain, I guess, or regain maybe some order in my life. And also kind of take an inventory of what I've got. Obviously, I've got heaps of Olympic stuff from Sochi and from Korea. There's maybe stuff that I don't need. There's stuff that I would like to donate to the Thredbo Ski Museum. There's stuff that probably deserves to go in the bin. And there may even be some goodies in terms of my old equipment that is still in good nick that could end up in the ski sale. So if you are looking for anything in particular that's got anything to do with alpine ski racing or ski cross, send me a message, because I may just have a piece of equipment that I don't use anymore that you can have. So I'll keep you updated on that. Anyway, just wanted to give you a little bit of an insight into the journey that's got me to here, the 17th of April 2019, day one of my 8th year of marriage. I really couldn't have done any of this season without you guys, which is my community. It's been a really tough one, and I haven't achieved what I wanted, but I'm more driven than ever to make sure that I get the results that I want and the outcomes that I believe that I'm capable of. And I can't wait to let you all know how it's going in a few more weeks. Thanks for tuning in.